Hello everybody and welcome to a familiar looking scene. I am Salty Salsa. I'm back for the first time in forever. I'll sing Frozen and make you cringe. So today we're going to be starting off with a new series I'm doing. This is going to be an analysis of 3D World. I'm going to erase this file as much as I love it. I will erase the file. And yes, so I'm going to start by doing an analysis of the level design in 3D World. So, we're going to start right off. Start off playing as Mario. Last time I would alternate between levels. I am going to just pick whoever I want this time. And so we're going to start off with looking at this cutscene here. So this cutscene sort of does a really good job of setting up the main premise of the game. I mean, there's the obvious focus on the 4 players right off the bat. Clear pipes it shows off. Sort of gives you a bit of characterization of the characters, so you know what's going on. Not much of a story, so it doesn't tie in much. This right here is important. It shows off all the cool stuff you're gonna find once you start this game. Introduces you to the first character you have to rescue. Very little words, in fact no words at all. She just explains to you exactly what's happening. Then we're introduced to our villain. Bowser grabs her, and then he's like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Flies off. Again, a bit more characterization there. We see how eager Peach was to help, and also how she has more of a leading role this time in the game. Shows off more of her, how she has more of an active role in this game than she did in previous games. So then, yes, it cuts immediately into gameplay, which is a very smooth transition right there. It fades to white, so not flawless, but still very quick. You've got Mario panicking here. And there, just some quick text telling you how to jump, which is important because you need to jump into the levels. Also has an A button right there, just in case you, for whatever reason, didn't catch the thing. The message popped up telling you. So, let's approach this first level from the aspect of someone who has no knowledge of this game. It did tell you to jump, so they know that you know how to jump. So you've got these, just in case you don't know how to jump, you've got a staircase right here that leads you right here to this sign. Let's say you go over here though. Oh, there's nothing here? Okay, never mind. I thought those slides would give away something. So yes, the sign points you here. I'm just not going to get hurt there, but yes. So they're assuming you know how to jump. Invite interest. That guy, he looks pretty aggressive. He's gonna run towards you. You can climb these trees here. I don't think you get really rewarded for it though, because that kind of comes later. But you can practice climbing there. Introduces you to a hill right here, and sort of how your character interacts with these hills. Glass pipe, another big thing that happens. Actually, the player doesn't really know how to dash at this point. I'm gonna assume, since I said like they know nothing about this game. If they fail, they fall down into this area here, and they can see sort of something going on here. And then this coin will lead them, if they get really lost, if they somehow mess up while they're over there and fall down, it'll lead them back and give them a nice little reward. Now, there's also some very subtle hints about the cat's power. There's little cat paw-shaped rocks all over here. You see them? Hold on, I'm gonna show them out. Mario is on top of one right now. I'm gonna move out of the way so you can see it. So yeah, so we've been introduced to the glass pipes. These birds drawing attention to the boxes here by being on top of them, which shows you that there's something interesting, but jumping on top of them doesn't do anything. So if jumping on top of them doesn't do anything, there must be something else you can do. At this point, the player's probably going to experiment with a few other buttons, and that's probably when they learn about the attack. So now they have this attack. Shows the cat paws. You run up here with the cat paws, and you'll be able to climb up. Now, we just saw a Goomba go through those pipes, which is really cool. You can also trigger Goombas going through pipes in several other instances. Earlier in the level, although I didn't. That right there, that gap is the first sort of true hazard. If you fall down there, you will die. Now this one has a bit of a different entrance than the other pipes. And shows you one of the mechanics of getting launched through the pipes. Mario lands, and puts us right in front of here. You go ahead and touch this thing. It sort of, it almost looks like it's pointing you here, because you land in the circle, and there's this little thing jutting off the circle. And you go over here, you see this pixie person. You can get up close to them, and then it'll introduce you to this. You move around with your gamepad, there's a little icon in the corner, and it's pointing you to where you need to go. So then what you'll do is you'll head up here. A rabbit glowing green like the star you saw before. Oh, that section where the star also teaches you how to redirect yourself through pipes, which is something else you can do in later levels. You can swim in here. You're introduced to how water works in a very brief and minor way. Now, you're introduced to the more classic Mario pipes, but again, this is under the assumption that this person has no experience with the franchise. You see the pipe. Grab this. It's shiny. It's going to draw you to it. Now again, if the player has learned to climb stuff by now, they can learn to climb trees. They'll see this probably up here. Also, this rock has invisible stuff on it. It draws attention to it. Cat paw here implies there's somewhere to go. You can almost always climb to the top of an area where there's the cat paw rock. And if you catch the giant bunny, you do lose your cat suit. Now, you'll find out the giant Mario is very heavy. He breaks these bricks automatically. But it doesn't matter. It leads you to the star. Giant Mario doesn't appear very often, but you learn a bit more about him. Now, let's say the player wants to run up here and grab this. They have two options. If they don't have the cat suit from the giant, they can take the pipe, or if they do have the cat suit, they can climb up there and grab some coins on the way. Now, the cat suit has the ability to climb up flagpoles, but for the first level, if you don't have it anymore, because there was the giant suit, or the giant suit? Giant mushroom, it lets you, if you don't mess it up like I did, get to the top of the flagpole, regardless of whether you have the cat suit or not. So I did throughout the level sort of use some stuff that the player probably wouldn't know how to do if it's their first time playing, but that was just to get through. The dash is a little bit harder to figure out if you're a new player, and again have no experience with Mario games whatsoever. But to dash, you press and hold down the attack button. So we're going to be doing an analysis of this level now. So right here, there's a slide. There's a lot of different moves you can do, and we're introduced right off the bat to the main enemy of this area, the Koopa Troopa. So if we have a cat power-up saved from this level, we can ride up here, but we don't. So there's these here. You can, if you're pressing attack while you are near their shell, you'll pick it up. And what I just did there is I pressed crouch, and I hopped in it. And if you're running while you do that, so the player's going to be excited, but they're going to learn if you stay in the shell too long, you'll get dizzy, because you can't possibly break all these blocks in time, no matter how fast you are, without getting dizzy. So that's going to teach the player how to do that. I did not want to go down here because there's something else. As you may have noticed, there's these blocks that we ran over, but we can't break. Also introduces us to the fire flower. We couldn't break them. So we can go down here and get a little bonus for our troubles. Then you can pass right through here and get yourself back down to the next area. And we have 2 shells loose, and this is horrifying for me. But that doesn't matter. So now we're going to go bang, bang, bang. And we can also learn a little bit about how shells can go through pipes, which doesn't appear too often in this game, but is something that can appear every once in a while. So it's important for the player to keep it in mind. Now there's a lot of stuff in this game that rewards players who know the mechanics a bit better, and that just comes from experimenting with the different moves. Like, see, if I run in circles frequently, I can do the propeller spin. And we find another one of these pipes, which sends us over to the next area. We've got these rising clouds. If you're falling too slow, you'll probably try to jump to avoid falling, and you'll find that you can go through these clouds to get to ones above them, which prevents you from getting stuck down in lower areas. Now you can go and come right out of this pipe here, and I don't really need that. And if you're for whatever reason drawn to between these 2 torches, which one might be, you can find a little secret here. Of course, you might not notice the first one, but there's a mechanic where if you blow on the Wii U gamepad, it'll reveal secrets. Learn these hidden details. Oh, now there's a mystery box. You've learned to hit them, so you might think to attack it, or you could just try touching it. What'll happen is you'll go here. Oh dear, I messed that up. Defeat the Koopa. If the Koopa Troopas get to stick around, they will cause havoc and try to get back in their shells, and they'll attack you. That was a glitch. I shouldn't have been able to get out of that. And you notice I couldn't actually gotten into there, but I can go through here, and I get a little glimpse at a secret. Now, we can't reach that star, it's too risky, but what we can do is use the shell to our advantage. Now that little up air area is unfortunately unreachable. Unless we go and try to find a way up here. Or we have the cat suit. The cat suit is a much easier way to get up here. But you can explore and find this stuff. And go ahead and grab yourself a nice reward for it too. Then we can hop over here, hop right back down. And get back to the outside area. So I'm sort of giving away stuff that you wouldn't normally know right off the bat. Again, presuming you're somebody who's never played this game before and doesn't understand the mechanics. When we encounter mechanics that I will show you. Oh, so right here we're going to be introduced to an enemy that will become more frequent in later levels. It's a more difficult enemy. So at this point, hopefully the player has an understanding of how to fight enemies. They've been through 2 levels. So you discover these guys come charging at you down. Kind of like the Koopa Troop. Oop, and I messed up fighting there. I'm going to grab that shell, or that... Too busy talking about shells. So that sort of introduces you to it. It'll show up. Like I said, it'll show up later, a lot more in the later levels. Teaches you about that. Also, that was an enemy that appeared in an earlier Mario game. Fun little reference for fans of the franchise. Alright, now this level does a lot more of a job about teaching you about the cat suit than the previous level did. It's way more vertical, and the cat suit power is all about climbing vertically. So this level is built almost expressly for the cat suit and nothing else. There's a lot of levels that are built specifically for one power-up. Now you may remember we can climb these. If you wish to, you can climb up here and get a good look at exactly what kind of challenge you're going to be facing on the way up. Get a little look at the level before it happens. Right off the bat, this Lagoomba using the cat suit for himself. And you may notice a new type of block. That'll net you a suit. And you can see that mushroom. And to activate other POW blocks. And you net yourself a nice little secret here. Now the player is naturally drawn to form a perfect path, connecting from of them. These puzzles will get a bit more challenging as the game progresses. And you may notice that I've missed the first star, but I do have this. That's because the first star requires players to remember what is right here. Earlier levels and explore. And it's perfectly fine if a player were to miss that the first time, because these levels are meant to be played again and again. We've done through that, and look, we've built ourselves a perfect staircase to get up to the next segment. You could climb that tree there, if you felt like it, and these Now with the length of these, you'll quickly realize you can climb higher than the cat suit normally can. And a cat paw showing you to attack, and it will be coming way off in the future. Grab this star. And this will sort of teach you about dashing. Even if you don't dash, these pads make you dash for you. And you fall down. Now you may have noticed this was nowhere near the top of the actual mountain. If you are feeling adventurous, the players can go. They get a little sneak peek of a piranha plant, which I've already counted a few of, and now they find a giant one. But he's not going down that easy. Looks like he's going to need one. Now these boxes also appear throughout the game. This is the first time that we've encountered them, I believe. So they look similar to the question mark blocks, though, that you version that you encountered earlier that take you to a puzzle room. So players will now instead of moving you to a secret puzzle room, they move you over to the next section of the area. So players now know that they can use these to get further ahead. And if the player they can almost and miss their this one, yes, that has the mushroom. Not much of a reward, but it's a little something for players who are willing to take the time. Now here, this isn't going straight to the top of the flagpole. That concludes level 2. Or level 3 actually, sorry. Technically level 4, although I don't really count these as levels. Actually no, they're very short, so I don't include them as part of the levels. Now this level design talk isn't design perspective. Just so you know, you can open the electronic manual from the home and make some unexpected discoveries there. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do it. Open up the manual. Important information. Not really that important. Character selection. Let's look at playing through courses. Checkpoint flag, goal, losing lives, game over. All this, basic actions, move, dash while moving, jump, pound while midair, roll. So you can see all these cool moves that you can do if you want to go and take the time to learn them. So it rewards players with more skill. So let's do this level first. It's a bit of a break from the traditional levels. It's sort of like a fun mini-game break. And in this character here, Plessy, will show up later. So you just hop right on her back. I think that message actually pops up before... Yep. So right off the bat, we've got these golden rings. This is the first time we're encountering them, but they will appear often in other levels. And if you jump at the right time, you'll be launched. Let's see if I can do this up here. If you go, now you've probably learned at this point, you can jump off these guys' heads. You will get a reward if you collect all 7, like I didn't. So there's an easier path there, but if you want to challenge yourself, you can miss the 1-up like I did. I am not doing a good job of showing off this example. So this whole level just provides different challenges for players. There are plenty of secrets here, like you can see over there. There's a little hidden secret, but you can't get this if you take the hidden secret. So you're still being rewarded even if you don't take the more challenging path. Just, you might not be rewarded as much. Now you might have wondered where the hidden path was. I almost took it actually earlier. Oh, thank goodness. I missed everything else, but I didn't miss that. So, players are going to need to wave goodbye to Plessy, hop down the pipe, and then you're over here, and you get a little dash pad to hop to the goal. So I'm going to play that one again just to show off where the secret exit is. Also because I don't like missing stars. Although we can see that you actually, all the others have green stars on top of the flags when completed. Oh yes, and also it shows off the branching pathways. So you can choose which level to do, whichever looks more fun to you. So if you struggle with one of them, you can pick an easier one. You can get there all the same, but you have to have the right amount of stars. So we do actually have the correct amount of stars, but we're going to go back and play the other levels just to get in, for the sake of analysis. So we know what we're doing here. I'm going to show you my pro speedrunner strats. Although actually this stage is in reality a nightmare for speedrunning because it just slows you down. Now let's go take another one of the secret paths. There's like this little tunnel here, which doesn't offer as much of a reward, but it does give you a speed boost. You can go a bit faster through the level. And we can get the 1-up that time, hit that speed boost, whee, splash. Now here it is. Secret exit, ram, right into the waterfall. You get another one of those, hop, and invincibility star. These little pesky guys won't be slowing you down much longer. And there we go. So that's the last of the secrets this level has to offer. That one took me a while to get, because one wouldn't think to go towards that waterfall. But you do hop through other waterfalls later in the game, so that could possibly be a hint that you can pass through there. Alright, now we're going to do the next level, before the final level. World 1 does a lot of good setting up for future mechanics. Also, that thing pops up and brings attention to it. That's just a mini game you can do to earn more lives. Then we hit the Switch Scramble Circus. So, right off the bat, this level's premise, we see these things. They're like question mark blocks. Step on one, hey, turns into an exclamation point. Oh, look at that. Switched back when I jumped. So now I know that whenever I land on them, it changes them. So hopefully the player will be willing to say, what happens when I do that? Because you're blocked by that wall there. Also, if you crouch whenever you're on a slope, you'll slide, and you can do a jump afterwards. It's lots of fun. So you go up here, and you just sort of follow the path that's being presented to you. Now look at that wall blocking me until I hop up here and finish that off. So both previous levels are fairly straightforward. You might notice you can go around those walls instead of going into the warp box and grab yourself a star. The first star, in fact. Again, just rewarding exploration. Then we go over here, grab the flag. Now this area is a bit more complicated. It's not just a straightforward path. And the reason that they can assume that players can do this is because you literally can't get here without hitting all of them. So players have to experiment a bit with finding the best possible path, just to sort of learn what's going on. Now players can see this red ring that they saw in the Plessy Plunge, or they didn't actually, but since it's a branching path, players are going to learn either way what this red coin does, which is a very clever way of doing things. And now we've got these guys here, circling around this box. The music in the stage is also fantastic for a little detail that comes at the very end of the level. Now this level encourages you to use the fire flower. That box gives you the fire flower. You're supposed to break all the boxes until you find this right here. I skipped past it a bit, but yeah, that's just the general point of the level. So now we've got this Magikoopa, who we can learn more about. We get some time boosts too. So while we're busy running around the level trying to avoid that, you can also learn by doing that it'll remove any enemies. You see this flying circus. If we line up the hoops just right, we fly through just like in the circus. And as you get closer to the end, the level actually, the music builds up. Now there's a stamp up there that we can't reach right now unless we are very clever, like me. Although actually, if you have the cat suit, it makes that way easier. And as you can see, the music automatically ends there. I cut it off a bit at an awkward time, but most of the time, the ending will fit in with whenever the music's playing. And that's just a really cool fact about the level. Nothing to do with level design, really. So yes, like I said, some brief things to note here is that they've introduced two different mechanics, but also they have similar mechanics in both of them. Like the red coins are something you can find in both, so no matter where the player goes, they learn about those, which is important for something that pops up here. You can also see this Captain Toad. It's a little mini game. I'm going to ignore that for now. Check this out. We walk up, press A, it breaks the stars. And we see that little fairy we saw earlier. So we know that this is the place that we're supposed to be going. Now on to Bowser's Highway Showdown. So right off the bat, it just a little cutscene to show you that this level is going to be a bit more difficult than the rest of them. And in the beginning of the level, we're introduced to these soccer balls. You can attack them. That was a fireball, so they exploded. Or you could walk into them, kick them, hopefully into those Goombas, so you'll learn what they do. You can also set off these blocks, which I'm going to do because I want the cat suit for this particular section. They may have noticed this green star ring. We know the green stars are the things we're trying to collect. And we've learned about 8 red coins from the previous 2 levels. No matter which level you did, you'll have enough stars to get to this level, and you'll know what it is the 8 red coins are. So you can learn about the 8 green coins and what they do as well. Basic premise, collect coins, get money. And prizes. We've seen one of these before. We know what it does, but we don't know exactly how it's going to work. So we give it a spin. And look at that. If we do it fast enough, we get a little reward. And we can also get a big reward. So there's the bonus for keeping it fast. And we also saw up there, if we go on top of these swamps, which you can discover by experimenting, or by just jumping straight off down there, that we get more time. Another little bonus rewarding you for exploring. Thwomps are harder to climb because they move as you're climbing. You can also direct the bombs with your swing, knock those Goombas down a peg, and grab yourself a star. And you may notice that these soccer balls flash red eventually. We can go ahead and launch the soccer ball, send him flying right over there. Now let's say what happens when you try to hit the ball that's flashing red. You'll get hurt. It's too dangerous to press those. They're too close to exploding. So you've learned that now, and now you're ready to be introduced to the final concept. The main music fades out as you're approaching, builds up suspense. You also have to climb up these stairs, so you can't really see what's coming quite yet. Music comes from one side of the speaker to draw your attention, as well as the camera pan. Camera turns and directs your attention this way. Once you've seen the car move, you now know how this level's sort of going to function. You're going to be following after the car. If you hit the soccer balls, like you've learned to previously, it'll reward you by doing extra damage to Bowser. If you just sort of weak kick them, doesn't do as much damage. As we can see, I've already damaged this car pretty badly. Also, you might not notice this right away, but the car speeds up if you start sprinting. These fireballs actually can't hit you if you stick to one side. And that'll go ahead and finish him off. My dog is now barking. I apologize for this. And with that, Bowser's defeated. So we see her there. Also a bigger flag to signify that we've overcome a bigger challenge. I'm gonna go ahead and punch this. Oh, it won't let me. So go ahead and climb up here, which provides most players a chance to hop right on top of the flagpole. Perfect jumping distance. And if you get to the very top, you get a golden flag as a reward. As you probably already seen me do earlier with the catsuit. And you get a little special cutscene with the fairy there. And that little car shows up there. You don't really see, actually, if you remember, what the challenge is going to be, but the fairy that was there is replaced by the car. So yeah, you know what level this is. And it's going to do a little cutscene where the fairy will jingle her hammer. I don't know what that hammer is. Is that hammer just a bell? And she builds you a glass pipe. And you already know how those work by this point, so you know that that's going to take you somewhere different. So you can hop right into the pipe, and it'll take you straight over to the next world, where we'll see a new fairy and a new castle.
Whoa.
So now the player, by this point, already knows how the base of the game is going to work. Traveling from world to world, completing levels, and going to be doing different things throughout. So this concludes my analysis of World 1 for Super Mario 3D World. I'm going to be doing an analysis of each world just in one video. That I'm doing. I should have explained it a bit better in the intro, but yes, I'm going to be doing an analysis of 3D World. I think I'm going to go and do a new video series where I analyze Twilight Princess in a much grander sense. I'm going to have a whole multi-video series dedicated to that, analyzing the different parts in an overall sense. Maybe I'll do some more specific videos of Twilight Princess. It is my favorite game of all time, so we'll see where that goes and what that does. But yes, hopefully I'm going to be changing up some of the things in my channel, and I wanted to do this just to sort of supplement the content while it's being made, because that Twilight Princess stuff is going to take a while, and I have some other videos planned that are also going to take a while. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I've been Salty Salsa, and I hope you have a fantastic day.